Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy. And the Native American Education Program at Tempe Union High School District supports Indigenous students through academic, cultural, and college readiness initiatives, specialized staff training, and community-focused family nights, which are amazing. Been to those, and they're great. It focuses on enhancing student success, fostering community partnerships, and adapting curriculum to reflect Indigenous perspectives. On the phone today to tell us more is Valerie Molina, the Native American Program Coordinator for Tempe Union High School District, and Charlotte Windsor, the Director of Federal Programs for Tempe Union High School District. Charlotte and Valerie, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Thank you,
Hi,
Susan.
good afternoon.
Super excited to have you here. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey. I guess, Valerie, we'll start with you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And thank you for having us on the show today. I've been currently working for Tempe Union for about 20 school years, and I'm a member of the Pascoyaqui tribe, and I live in the town of Guadalupe, born and raised, and I'm a product of Tempe Union High School District. And this has been really a big passion project for me in terms of helping grow our program over these past 20 years and just really connecting our families to education and opportunities is a lot of what I've been trying to do and change the face of what the school system looks like for them. And I think we're being really successful with our current leadership that we have here in the district. But I'll turn it over to Charlotte.
Thanks, Valerie, and thank you, Susan, for having us on. I have been a high school social studies teacher for 23 years, and I'm currently the Director of Federal Programs. I've been in this role for about 4 years. I grew up in Tempe, and just like Val, I'm a product of Tempe Union High School District. I graduated from Tempe High School, and I actually still live in the house that I grew up in. I have not ventured far from home. I spend most of my days thinking about how we use federal education funding, not just to meet requirements, but to actually change outcomes for students. And that's where Circle of Nations grew out of. Valerie's passion project became my passion project. And it grew out of this belief that Native American students deserve spaces where culture is honored, identity is strengthened, and academic excellence is expected of them. This work is professional, but more importantly, it's deeply personal to me.
I think it's really amazing that you both are products of Tempe Union High School District and that you're still there. And I know, Valerie, you said over 20 years, 23 years?
Yes, 20 years. Yes.
20 years. That's like amazing. And I know, Charlotte, long time for you as well. Well, I can't wait to learn more. So tell me, Valerie, tell me a little bit about the Native American Education Program at Tempe Union High School District.
Well, we've really grown the program over these past 20 years, as I was saying earlier. When I first started, our numbers were really low in terms of who self-identified and what numbers of students were registered with my program. And over these past years, we've been able to grow our program to over 1,000 students. We have representation from almost every single tribe in our state, and then, of course, surrounding tribes in the other areas. And we provide services to our kiddos, whether it's support for what's going on at home, academic support, being an advocate in the classroom for them, being an advocate for the parent. We have many cultural nights over the school year. We have many cultural events during the school day. We have visitors from different tribes, different Native colleges, different programs like Native Health come in and do workshops for us as well. We host our own Native American summer school program. So we've had a lot of success in growing, our brand here in Tempe Union and working with the students that have similar backgrounds to myself. I was one of these kids, growing up in the town of Guadalupe and being first generation high school graduate. So it took a lot from me to change the program around and change the mindset of families to think of school as a safe space. And I'm really happy that Marcos de Niza was the first school to open up an American Indian Center here on campus. So we have our little hub that's available to our Native American students to come in throughout the day, whether it's for just to wind down, homework help, to get assistance with sports fees, academic fees, or whether they just need to talk about something that might be happening, or just even a snack. So we're really proud of all those initiatives, and like I said, building partnerships we work really closely with 6 of the tribes that surround us, and we do tribal consultations with. So our program has grown from just this small little, we're serving about 300 kids, to now we're trying to get 3 staff members to be able to work with over 1,000 kids here in Tempe Union.
Wow. Okay, I want to back up for a second. You said so you've got this American Indian Center at Marcos Deniza. Now, is that open for all of your students or just the students at Marcos Deniza?
Right now, it's open to all of our students at Marcos Deniza.
Okay.
And with this new initiative that we're doing, we hope to open up a second one over at Mound Point, and we'll talk about that more later when we get into that programming. But ideally, I would love to have one at every campus, but right now, Marcos is the highest population of Native American students, close to 400, which is why it made sense to open up a center here for our students.
Okay, so I don't know a whole lot about Tempe Union High School District. How many schools do you have?
We have 6 high schools within Tempe Union, and the largest populations, again, are at Marcos Deniza, and then our second largest population of Native American students is at Mountain Point.
And where's that one?
That one is located in Ahwatukee, off of, closest crossroads would be 48th Street and Knox. If you need to get by freeway access, it's off the I-10 and Warner. Like I said, my staff goes from campus to campus once a week to make sure we service all of our students. Parents know they can reach us via email, which is usually the quickest to be able to get some sort of service that they might need, whether it's help talking to a counselor about a schedule change or even just asking for assistance. We're setting up something for summer school because we're really proud of the summer program that we offer for our Native American students each summer.
Okay, so you mentioned that staff go from school to school. How many staff do you have besides you?
So we have myself, the coordinator, and I have a full-time liaison that's under our program, and then under Title I, we have a second liaison that provides assistance to our campuses. So between the 3 of us, we split up all 6 campuses.
That's a lot. Every week?
Every week.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of traveling, a lot of students, and a lot of families.
It is, and we're trying to keep up with it, and like I said, it is at times, we can see 1 or 2. We try not to disturb the students during the school day in terms of their core classes, so we're always trying to pull students out during their elective courses, and that kind of is hard to get these students because sometimes the passes don't get to them, but we always send messages to them via email, like, we're on campus, if you need me for anything, please make sure you come by and see us either during your lunch, and we'll be here till after school time, so if you want to stop in after school. We try our best to make sure we touch base with our kiddos.
Okay, so what kind of programs do you have? I know you touched on it briefly, but can you tell me a little bit more? So I know you've got cultural programming. You said they can help with scheduling or schedules. What else do you do?
So for our programming, we look at the student as a whole. So where is the gap that they're missing? So obviously, there's multiple tiers within our district to help support a student, from the guidance counselor to the social worker to Indian Ed. So for our program, if a student comes in here and they say, I need a schedule request change, what we do is on their behalf, we'll email the counselor and ask them, we would like to see if we can help the student get a schedule change that might work better for them. If a student comes in here needing some social emotional support, we will either help make that referral through the tribe directly, or we refer them through the programs we have here on campus, which is Care 7. We allow students to have access to the mindfulness room here as well, which is connected at Marcos. Other programming we have, I talked about cultural programming that we have come in, and even educational programming. We have our tribal elders come in, we have tribal cultural departments come in, and they do lessons for our students on things that might be significant within that tribe, something that might be happening during that week, that month, and what it means to the community. We have the colleges that come in. We work really closely with Hoop of Learning at Maricopa Community College District, and they come in to talk to students about options that they have. We partner with South Mountain Community College to offer the Dene language because it is on our books here in Tempe Union, and we would like for our students to have the requirements for the Chief Manolito Scholarship. So we provide tuition waiver for our students to be able to take that class at the college until we find a teacher ourselves. So if anybody out there would like to apply for Dene language teacher, we are looking for a teacher to offer the class. And then we also offer Yaqui language here in the district. So our district has 2 native languages, and once we get to work with the Hona O'odham Community College, TOCC, we're hoping that maybe we can offer O'odham here as well. So that's just a little bit of what we do. And we have mentorship programs that come in, Chicanos por la Causa, they come in weekly and do workshops with our kiddos. We have Arizona State University that comes in once a month to do workshops with our kids. We have field trips that we take our students to. The most recent, we took our students to the Arizona State Legislative Native Day, and we took about 20 kids and introduced them to tribal leaders so they could see who their chairwomen, chairmen, presidents were, and had pictures taken with them. So we have a lot of interaction with the government aspect, the cultural aspect, and the community aspect, just so the students are more familiar with it.
If people wanted to be part of the Native American Education Program, I know that you have to register with your office. Is that still correct?
It is correct. So a student can self-identify. So when they're registering as a freshman, the parents just have to fill out the Title VI or what's the 305, the Johnson O'Malley form. And we will take a student if they are a descendant up to second generation, and they can get services from us. They do not have to have a certificate of Indian blood in order to qualify for services. So we do take descendants. And then if they want services through the Johnson O'Malley program, of course they have to be of 1/4 blood and have to be a part of a federally recognized tribe with a certificate of Indian blood. But we have the registration forms online. We can email them. They are readily available when a student enters Tempe Union as a part of the registration packet. So we make it as easy as possible to fill out these forms. So we're really close to getting to the 100% mark. You know, a couple of years ago we were a lot lower in terms of registrations, but we're getting closer. So we're closing that gap, and we want 100%. Hopefully in the next 3 or 4 years we'll get 100% registration of our students.
And I know it's important, right, because of the federal funding that you have to do that. You have to turn in the tribal ID or CIB. Okay. So that's the reason
our
for
budgets depend on it.
Yeah, for the Johnson O'Malley, in order for you to continue to get the federal funding, that you have to do that.
Correct. So we really encourage families, even if they don't think they're going to take the services, they might, because there's times when a family comes across that they might be in choir or orchestra and there's a trip coming up, they can apply for funding from our program to be able to get assistance with that. Or if a student decides they want to play a sport, they might need a funding assistance with that as well. So our program can cover a portion of those costs. We can't always cover a lot because there's obviously more need than there is funding, but those registration forms help make up that difference because we can get more funding if we have higher numbers registered.
All right, so we kind of talked about why the initiatives are important. I know that Charlotte's going to talk to us a little bit about the Circle of the Nations Pathway, the new program. And so, Charlotte, what is that?
So this is a new initiative that we're going to be starting in this coming fall, 2026, here at Mountain Point High School. And similar to Marcos Denisa, we have space set aside for Native American students to be able to come in and gather together, participate in talking circles, and have opportunities for cultural learning and land-based teachings throughout this regular school day. The Circle of Nations program, it's kind of a twofold. We have a traditional pathway where a student coming in as a freshman will be able to take social studies and English classes that have culturally connected curriculum, and it will have Native American voices and perspectives represented within the existing scope and sequence. So we're staying with the state standards, but yet we're interjecting that Native voice so that they're represented and so that students can connect to the curriculum in a different way. And then the second pathway is for students who are credit deficient, and these are like our juniors and seniors who are not on track to graduate. They can be in this set-aside cultural learning area to catch up on their credits, get up to speed, and then instead of putting them back into a traditional schedule where they might not necessarily academically thrive, or it's also hard to go in mid-semester, we call it the Momentum Room because we're going to get them immediately enrolled into either South Mountain Community College's Super Learning Program or Tohono O'odham's Community College concurrent classes so that they can start to create their own future but here with the support of a staff that is committed to them and helping them find their way.
So is this only open to Tempe Union High School districts or other districts?
No, you have to be an enrolled Tempe Union High School District student specifically at Mountain Point for this program, for the Circle of Nations.
Okay. And then again, do you have to have tribal ID or can they self-identify for this one?
The same exact for our Native American education program. They can self-identify as well as have a tribal ID.
Okay. What kind of results are you going to expect from the Circle of Nations Pathway program?
Our two main goals are to elevate academic success, which means increase graduation, on-time graduation rates, and to help revitalize culture. Just like Valerie talked about with language, we're going to be offering Dene. We're working on an agreement with Tohono O'odham's Community College so that we can offer the O'odham language. So it's a twofold goal, but we are actually going to be measuring success not just through the traditional course completion and dropout rates and stuff like that. We really are wanting to measure from a holistic view. We want to have our students involved with dual enrollment, concurrent enrollment classes so they can see a future beyond high school. We're going to measure based off of student voice and feedback, their participation in project-based learning that we're going to have through our many partners and tribal elders coming in and working with those students. And we're even going to be measuring family engagement and community engagement so that we can have better outcomes for our students in both an academic way and a holistic measure.
So Valerie, I know that you're obviously involved in this program as well. What other programs are you working on for this year?
Well, the one we're working on currently is preparing for our summer education program. During the summer education program, we host almost 300 Native students within our district to, like Charlotte said, to get ahead or get caught up on credits. Every Friday is dedicated to some sort of extracurricular learning, whether it's cultural, language, or just leadership, mentorship type of learning.
So I have to ask you, Valerie, do you ever lay awake at night and think, wow, this is like my favorite thing I've done in the 20 years I've been there? Do you have a favorite success story or favorite memory?
There's so many memories, honestly, to be able to pick one. But I think for me is when a student requests me on Facebook and I get to see what they're doing now in life as an adult, and just seeing those types of success stories of whether they've gone off to college and have started some career. We have some students that are in filmmaking that have been in the movies as well. We have students that are engineers. We have students that are nurses. So we have students that work at Salt River Project as linemen, so diesel mechanics. When I see these success stories of our kids that have gone off, and I call them my kids because for 4 years we're taking care of them. If a student is down here by themselves, we want to make sure they feel that they have a home still, because some families send their students off. So those would be our success stories, is seeing those kids. And I'm really proud to say that our program just was awarded the Southwest Regional At-Large National JOM Award. So that's another success for our program as well.
Congratulations. That's a big award.
Thank you.
And I do know, I've talked to some of the students that have taken programs with you, and I mean, your reputation precedes you in the community, and people talk about how amazing you are and the programs that you do at Tempe Union and what a difference you've made to them. And I know some of those students, and I know that they've gone on and done super successful things, but they always mention you and what you've done. And I hope you lay awake at night and know what a difference you've made to a lot of people. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, so we're almost out of time, but I wanted to find out whether it's Charlotte or Valerie or both of you, how can listeners find more information about the Native American Education Program at Tempe Union High School District, and how can they contact you?
We have a website embedded into the Tempe Union High School District's website that is under Circle of Nations. It's pretty easy to find if you just Google Tempe Union Circle of Nations. It directly links you to it. And in that is both Valerie's and my email addresses. And then I know Valerie has a very robust Facebook page. Do you do Instagram as well, Valerie? I can't remember.
We don't, but the Native American Club here at Marco Ceniza does have an Instagram, and so does my Mountain Point. I'm the club sponsor for both. And those kiddos have an Instagram, but Marco Ceniza does not have or Native program doesn't have an Instagram.
Okay, so Valerie,
let's
talk about what's the Facebook page?
Tempe Union High School District Native American Program, NA program.
So it is all spelled out, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Tempe Union HS Native
Tempe Union
NA
HS
program.
NA program. Okay. And then on
Yes.
Instagram, which is theirs?
Indigenous People Student Union, MPH.
So I just wanted to say thank you both so much for coming on today, Valerie and Charlotte. You both have made a tremendous difference to the community. I know your new program, Circle of Nations Pathway, is going to be successful. And Valerie, you have made such a huge difference. And I know you're going to keep making a difference to all those families and students.
Well, thank you, Susan. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Coming up next on Native Talk Arizona, host Susan Levy talks with author Antoinette Kavanaugh. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 8800 North 22nd Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. And Native Health provides primary medical services at the new Guadalupe Health Center, 6725 South Priest Drive in Guadalupe. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy, and today with me is Antoinette Kavanaugh. She's an author and a lifelong educator to talk about her new book. Antoinette, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited. I was reading a little bit about you, but before we get started, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, your journey. I know you're a lifelong educator, and how you ended up writing a book.
Well, I grew up in Oahe, Nevada, which is located on the Duck Valley Indian Reservation, which is very rural. It's 100 miles from the nearest town, either north or south. I was raised by my family, aunties, uncles, and grandparents, and had this wonderful experience of learning about our traditional ways and language. It was a rich background that I didn't really learn to appreciate till later on in life as things have changed, but it was a great opportunity to experience differences in family structure and then experience our own indigenous ways of knowing from land-based culture, food-based culture, appreciating our land, our water, and all things that are on Earth. So I took that information, and as I grew, I entered into education and had the opportunity to work in different levels, from being a teacher all the way up into a superintendent of schools. I've always had this story, but an opportunity presented itself in a class that I took recently when I went back to school to work on my PhD. I had the opportunity to take a class titled Children and Families in a Multi-Ethnic Society. And the objective of the class for graduate students was to do a presentation and develop a project that could change the world. And that sounds a little daunting, but in that process, I decided that this story that I had in my mind could fit the project parameters. And I thought, okay, I'll run this by the professor. And I said, can I use this story as a teaching project for people who work with Indigenous families and children? And she said, well, it sounds like a great idea. Can you send me the story? I need to see the story first. And I said, well, I haven't written it yet. It's in my head. So she said, you better start writing because this project's due in 4 months. So the nuances of our culture of the Shoshonean culture is exemplified in this story. And little Damit means little brother, or Damichit means brother. So the title of the book is Damit Dirivini Nahaganai Kimakunde, or Little Brother Asks, Where Did I Come From? Fortunately, I had the opportunity to take classes from the woman who wrote our language orthography, our Western Shoshone orthography, who was from our tribe. Her name was Beverly Crum. And so that really put me in a position to write this out in Shoshone. So then I decided it's going to be Shoshone first and translated to English second. And so this little story about how Damit learns from his grandparents and his family where he came from exemplifies, number one, that we look to our elders for knowledge. And the lessons from the grandparents is that he comes from them, but he also comes from our ancestors and all the things on earth that we eat and use to sustain life. So that's kind of the premise of the story.
Why do you think education and like these books are so important to pass on to the youth?
When I was a young girl, we had a small library on our reservation, and it was opposite of the school. And in that little library, when we finally got one, I learned from my cousin that there was a library and there were stories in books. And I went to that little building with a little, child's curiosity, and I walked in and I asked the librarian, who actually was from our reservation, if they had our creation stories there in the books. And in Shoshone, we call that Naragwihap. And she said, no, we don't have any of those stories here. So where I lived, we had a community water spigot where people would come and get their fresh drinking water. And around that water spigot, people would stand and tell stories. And she was one of the people who would come to that water spigot to fill their containers with drinking water. So I asked her, I said, well, do they have stories like the stories that are told at the water spigot? The ones that we share around, about our own people, about our community members? And she said, no, there are no stories about us. And at that moment, and I didn't realize how that would stick with me, but I resigned myself to going to the library. I rather would have stood around the water spigot and heard the stories, or sat with my family and learned the creation stories and listened to those. So we didn't have books about us. And we really do need to have a place in public libraries and in school libraries that have books where we see ourselves and we see our values and our culture exemplified in the books. Without those, we don't have that reminder that we're important, that our stories are important and our life ways are important. So it's essential that our children are exposed to that. And I didn't really ever see myself as an author, but this grew out of that assignment. And it just began to develop from a story on the page. It's such a wonderful little story.
I know you said for your assignment it was 4 months. Did you finish it in 4 months?
No. So I was in graduate school too, and you have family life as well. So I was able to finish the story within, the actual writing of the story in the 4 months along with my classes. The illustrator, she was a family member, extended family member, and so we worked together on the illustrations. We had those done by December of 2024, but I still needed to work out the nuances of the editing for the language, and there were still little things I needed to finish with the artwork. So just going through that whole process took me through May. And, getting an ISBN number, and it's a process when you're a self-published author. And I really didn't know if I could find a publisher to do a bilingual book in Shoshone. It's a very small niche, right? So I didn't know what the possibilities of that would be. So I didn't have time to do all of that, to find a publisher. So what I did was I took the summer did the final revisions, submitted them to a local publishing company. So it took me about a year and a month to go through the whole process. My first book launch event was December 2nd at University of Nevada, Reno, attended by wonderful people who helped to celebrate in that event, and it was a very memorable event.
Well, congratulations that you got it done. I think that, trying to write books, and especially kids' books, or all books, it's a lot harder, I think, than people realize. Like, I tried to sit down one time and write a story, and then it is hard to get your message across clearly, concisely, and then you're talking also about the language and the nuances. I can only imagine it's tough, but congratulations to you for getting it done. That's amazing. Okay, so do you see yourself writing another book? I mean, I know you said a year and a month. Do you think that you'll do another one, or do you think this is like a one and done?
I don't think this is a one and done, because as a result of this, more people are asking about. So in this book, I'm going to back up just a little bit. In this book, I have developed a pronunciation guide. And the guide provides the vowels and the consonants and consonant clusters and the symbols that we use for the pronunciation of our language. But what I've done is I provided an English sound that is representative of those symbols, and then an English word, and then the Shoshone words to help align or help people understand the sounds. What I have found as a result of doing that in this pronunciation guide is people need more help with that. So we have decided that we are going to do an activity book, a children's activity book that will go along with this book as a supplementary guide and work for students or children to learn their language. And then this summer, I'm going to be working with a friend of mine who is Hawaiian. She's done some indigenous recordings for a nonprofit that she and I were both associated with. And during a book celebration in Boise, she said, "Hey, I can help you record your book." So my grandchildren, husband and daughter, and I will be the voices of the book, characters in the book. We're going to place that on the site that I gave you at Antoinette-Kavanaugh.square.site. And it will be free. It'll be a free download after the summer. And it'll be a companion to the book so that people can hear the language being spoken, which I think is a critical part to language revitalization.
Definitely. I mean, I was thinking about that before when you were talking about it, and I'm glad you brought up the language revitalization. So between the book and the recording and everything supplemental, I think you're doing such a tremendous job. So I know we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to ask you again, so you said that you're self-published. Can you go ahead and give me the website again?
Sure. It's my name, Antoinette, ANTOINETTE -Kavanaugh, CAVANAUGH .square .site.
Antoinette, I wish you the best of luck with this book. I think it sounds amazing. I'm going to have to go out and get a copy and read it and put it in Native Health. We have like an indigenous library. I'll get a copy and we'll go ahead and put it in and then hopefully use it on one of our programs. And I just want to say thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on the book. And I know great things are in store for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you supporting this book, and I think Dami is going to be the beginning of something really big in Shoshone language revitalization.
Up next, Susan Levy chats with Selena Scott, Dene and Hispanic artist from Tempe, Arizona. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 8800 North 22nd Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. And Native Health provides primary medical services at the new Guadalupe Health Center, 6725 South Priest Drive in Guadalupe. Native Health's patient enrollment specialists can help you enroll, renew, or update your access information. This can be done in person, on the phone, or via Zoom. It's fast, easy, and can make a difference in keeping your health care coverage. For more information, call 602-285-9492.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy. On the phone with me today is Selena Scott, Navajo and Hispanic artist from Tempe, Arizona. She's a graduate of Arizona State University. Go Sun Devils! Selena uses traditional mediums like oil, acrylic, graphite, and pastels, but also explores work in digital illustration and three-dimensional work. She's displayed her artwork in local exhibitions and throughout the United States. Selena, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Super excited. Your artwork is known. The one piece I've seen all over, and I know you've done some amazing things, and I can't wait to learn more. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Yeah, so I'm from the Valley. I'm born and raised in Tempe, Arizona. But my family, my dad's side of my family, I am Navajo and I'm Latina. So my dad was raised in Tisto, Arizona on the reservation, and then my mom was born in El Paso, Texas. So they actually met at Diné College, which is a funny story. But I've always been an artist. I've always been drawing. They really nurtured that talent ever since I was young, and I really owe all my success to them because of how much they supported me growing up. Really, art is all I ever wanted to do, and I'm so grateful that they nurtured that from such a young age. And they supported me through college and all that, and I'm here today as an artist because of them.
That's cool. Your artwork is beautiful. So when you were little, did you start in like a particular medium besides crayons? I mean, you said you started when you were a child. I assume that's what you started in. Did you start in that, or was it when you were a little bit older and painting or different things like that?
So ever since I was young, I was always drawing. I loved to draw people, like my family members, like people I'd see in movies. I was always trying to draw people. And my dad used to draw as well. He used to draw with me on the kitchen table, and we would draw horses, we'd draw our family members. And then I just kept drawing from there. I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in drawing, and then it wasn't until college that I actually started to painting. And I just took to it right away, and I fell in love with painting. So I actually don't have too many years of painting experience under my belt, but I just fell in love with it.
That's awesome. Okay, so did you find proportions were difficult when you were getting started? You said you were drawing on the kitchen table with your dad doing horses. I've always found that proportions are hard. Has that never been an issue? Like, circles are too big for the body.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely a problem. I think everyone that first starts out, you kind of have to learn to see, I would say, when you start drawing, because anyone can pick up a pencil and draw, but if you know what you're looking at and can translate it to a paper, I think that's the real skill you have to train.
Okay. I never made it out of the proportion part, so all right. Okay, and then when you were painting, so what kind is that, like oil or acrylic?
I've done both, but I really mostly focus in oil painting right now.
And that's on canvas, right?
Canvas, but I usually work on wood panels.
Oh, wow. Okay, is that different?
It's a little different. I actually like to keep like the color and pattern of the wood on the surface. I don't like prime the whole thing over like most people do. I think it's really beautiful, the natural color of wood, and I think it really warms up the subject. So yeah, I've been painting on just the raw wood for a while.
So do you, and I don't know anything about painting on wood, so then you don't prime it, or do you prime a little bit of it?
It is primed. It uses a transparent primer of transparent gesso.
Okay, so it's not white. Isn't primer generally white or not always? Obviously not.
Yeah, it's usually white.
Okay. All right, so we know who inspired you to make art, your parents, and they instilled the love in you and creativity, which is pretty amazing. I think a lot of parents don't do that. So it's a good thing that you had that and that support, and that's why you've turned out to be such a successful artist. But how would you define your art style?
My style, it's always been rooted in portraiture. I've always just loved drawing people. I would say I didn't really find like what I wanted to tell, like the story I wanted to tell, until I was in college. I started doing like paintings of my sisters and representing like our Diné culture and then also my Latina culture. And I started putting both of those in, and then I found like my teachers, my like classmates really took to that, and that way it's kind of how I would say it's how I got closer to understanding my culture and I guess rediscovering it and finding out new details and also like reconnecting to it. So it would probably be like portraiture, realism. I paint very realistically. I'd probably say that was my style.
Very cool. All right, how long does it take to make a painting? I always think it takes hundreds of hours. Is that true?
It definitely depends on the painting. I would say it's at least 20 hours on one. It really depends. Like the biggest one I've done, it's probably taken over 100 hours. But the one I'm working on right now, I'm on a deadline, so I've done it under a month. So.
And how big is the one you're working on now? Is it large?
It's about, I think it's 30 by 20 by 30. So it's a pretty good size.
That's a big painting. All right, what's your favorite painting you've done so far?
My favorite one, probably the one I'm most known for as well. It's called I Knead My Dough the Way You Showed Me. I would classify it as a portrait, even though you don't see any faces in it. But I painted it after my Nolly, my grandma, and I kneading dough in front of her house. And like we're prepping some dough for tortillas or fry bread on her home back on the res.
Has she seen the painting?
Yes, she's seen it many times.
And what does she think?
She's a very quiet person, so she just smiles and she just says it's beautiful. I know she has more to say about it, but I can see the pride in her eyes, and my aunties and uncles also share how proud she is of me, and I guess the way I display my love for them and stuff is through my artwork, so I know they're very proud of me.
Is that your dad's mom?
Yes, it is.
And what does your dad say about it? Does he I'm sure he loves it.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. People that live with me and that are closest to me, they kind of have input in all my artwork as well. Like, we'll always sit around the dinner table, and I'm like, hey, what do you guys think of this idea? What do you think of this? And they give it to me. They give their honest opinions, and they definitely make me a better artist, too, because I love that I'm able to talk out ideas with them. And my dad, he used to be an artist as well, so he definitely helped me out with, like, oh, this hand doesn't look right, or are you sure that's how it's supposed to look? So I really appreciate their input.
Well, and it's nice that you're so secure that you can ask for opinions and advice. I think that's pretty amazing, and a good sign that you're very comfortable with your art and what you do.
Now I am. It was definitely a learned skill. I think anyone that goes through art school kind of learns that.
I don't know. I mean, I talk to a lot of artists, and you're very self-confident. And the piece that you're talking about, I would say, is like iconic. It's amazing for people, our listeners that haven't seen it. You should either Google it or go see it. It is an amazing piece. Where is that piece now? Is it in a gallery? Where is that one?
Yeah, so I'm very excited to say that that painting is now inside the Heard Museum. It just opened last week in the Bluebird exhibition, and it'll be on display until next year. So anyone can go view it right now at the Heard Museum.
That's awesome. I know that they just had their opening, so that's great. It is a beautiful piece. And then do you show in any other galleries, or do you have plans to show in other galleries?
Yeah, I'm actually in 2 other shows right now. I'm in a group show called Rooted in Relations at the Mesa Community College Art Gallery. That was in partnership with Cahokia, which is a woman-owned, indigenous-led space in downtown Phoenix. I usually show with Cahokia quite a bit as well. And then I'm also in a show at Heritage Headquarters, which is on Grant Street, and that's an all-Latina women art exhibit called The Fire We Carry.
All right, and then what plans do you have for this year? Are you doing just more portraiture? Are you going to think you're going to branch out, do anything differently?
I think I need to get back into some portraiture. I've kind of been focused on hands right now just because, one, the feedback I get from people loving to see like the hand paintings I do. I'm also just very interested in painting hands. But yeah, I want to do some more portraits. I would love to do some more collaborations with other artists. But next up, I've got the Herd Indian Market in March. I'll be my first time attending and selling some work.
That's considered to be one of the top markets, right?
It is. I'm really excited, a little nervous, but it's been a long time coming. I think every time I visit each year, everyone's like, why aren't you set up here? Where's your tent?
That's awesome. But then that also comes with it, I'm sure, a lot of stress, right? You have to produce a lot of work to sell.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff in the background because not only the artwork, but prints, your whole display, business card, there's a lot that goes into it. But I'm sharing a booth with one of my cousins, so it's going to be good. I'm excited.
That's going to be amazing. And get your artwork in front of all those people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when is that show? That's in first weekend in March?
Yeah, that's the weekend of March 7th. So it'll be the 7th and 8th.
Okay. And then if somebody wanted to find you, will your name be on the program?
Yes, my name should be on the website right now, and I believe they're already starting to post booth numbers, but I'll be talking about it all on my website and Instagram as well.
Okay. All right, I'm going to back up a little bit. I know that you also did the T-shirt design for the 2025 Phoenix Suns Originative campaign, right?
Yes, I did.
And so tell me a little bit about the design. Was that hard? Was it easy to make? Did they give you some ideas, or are you into basketball? How did you come up with that?
That design was actually pretty hard because I'm used to just painting, portraiture or something pretty literal, like off a photo or something. I rely on photos a lot to do my artwork. And I come from a basketball family, like my dad's family and my mom's family. Everyone's played basketball here. We have a basketball household. So I was really excited to not only portray like my family's love for basketball, but also the love of basketball across the reservation, and then also adding my own tribe and displaying us in there for the Originative campaign. I wanted to represent the foundation of playing basketball back home on the res, and I also wanted to represent tribes in the valley, so I included the Man in the Maze design, and I included my own landscape from my home back on Tisto. But I think it came together really nicely, and a lot of people resonated with it, which I'm really excited about.
It's beautiful. And if people want to see that, where can they either find that, or can they still buy it, or was that a limited edition?
So it was a limited drop, and it just sold out this year. So if you got one, you're lucky. You have one of the last ones.
But if they want to see a picture of it, is it on the Suns, or can they find it on your website? If they at least want to see what it looks like?
Yeah, I still have it. I have it on my Instagram still, along with like the promotional video I did with them. I probably should get that up on the website.
Well, I don't know. It's a beautiful design. And then the colors, I know I don't have a lot more time with you, but I wanted to ask, the colors of the Originative, did they pick that, or do you pick that?
The Originative design and logo and colors were already created actually by that same group I show with a lot, Cahokia. Their designers already created that, and so I just included that in. So like the turquoise, the medicine wheel colors, those were already incorporated in the design. So they're colors I paint with a lot anyway, so it's pretty easy to design with them as well. You
are just a talented artist, and honestly, I encourage our listeners to check out your website. Or do you prefer that people look at your social media? Actually, let's back up. Let's talk about what is your website. Let's talk about what handles do you have for social media?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Selena A. Scott Art, and that's the same as my website, selenaaScottArt.com. I'm definitely more active on Instagram, but my website, I have my portfolio and a few videos I've done content with.
Okay, and I'm almost out of time, but I wanted to ask, if people wanted to commission art, are they able to do that, and are they able to purchase art through your website or through Instagram?
So I have a little chat with me option on my website. It gets emailed to me. I've gotten a lot of requests for commissions through there. You can definitely email me or reach out through there. And then I will have prints for sale and original artwork at the Herd Market, and then those will eventually be on the website as well.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck at the Herd Market and also on your website and commission pieces. And I know you're off to huge things, and I know you're going to be world famous. I also encourage people to stop by the Herd and see the piece that's there now. That is just, it's an iconic piece and it's beautiful. So congratulations, Selena, and look forward to seeing you at the Herd.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and 90.7 FM KRDP. Our executive producer is Susan Levy. Sound engineer is Javier Quiroga. We hope you will tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please reach us at nativetalkaz@listen2krdp.com.